What happens when you combine two of America's scariest institutions, Stephen King and reality TV? Then you get from Justin to Carrie. Jesse Shade here from Awfully Good Movies on behalf of the JoBlo YouTube network. And 2003 was a seminal year for bad movies, the same way 1999 was for good movies. We had Geely, The Cat in the Hat, Boat Trip, Kangaroo Jack, as well as the American debuts from the gruesome twosome of Uwe Boll and Tommy Wiseau. And let's not forget when the producers of American Idol teamed up its debut winner Kelly Clarkson with runner-up Justin Guarini for a romantic musical comedy set during spring break in Florida that would do for the 2000s what those beach party movies with Frankie and Annette would do for kids back in the 60s. But after it belly flopped and became a pop culture punchline, From Justin to Kelly would instead go down in history as one of the very worst movie musicals ever made, and prove that success in reality TV does not make you entitled to an acting career. Looking at you, Kim Kardashian. So let us break out the dance moves for this musical extravaganza that thankfully did not lead to greenlighting a buddy cop comedy between Ryan Seacrest and Brian Dunkelman in this carefully choreographed episode of Awfully Good Movies. Last year, the long-running Broadway musical origin story of the Wicked Witch of the West finally had its first half turned into a smash hit movie with plenty of critical acclaim and Oscar nominations. So the same should be true this year for its second half, where Cynthia Erivo's Elphaba and Ariana Grande's Glinda confront Jeff Goldblum's not-so-wonderful wizard in the thrilling conclusion of Wicked for Good. And these Wicked movies have been a particularly great comeback for the once dominant genre of non-animated movie musicals, especially after that musical Joker sequel and that godforsaken Cats movie had audiences wishing to go deaf. And long after 2003 would give us one of the worst movie musicals, if not one of the worst movies ever made, where newly crowned American Idol Kelly Clarkson had a contractually obligated spring fling with runner-up Justin Guarini in the movie musical monstrosity From Justin to Kelly. After Miss Clarkson sang her way into America's hearts to win the first season of the reality singing competition American Idol, its producer and pop music mastermind Simon Fuller sought to give both her and her second-place pal the same cinematic treatment that he gave to the Spice Girls, with a musical romance between the two that would be written and produced over a mere 2.5 months. And scheduled to drop from theaters to home video in a then record time of 6 weeks, until theater chains threatened to boycott over such a ridiculous idea that would surely never come through later on in this century. But then the theaters just let Fox go ahead with their plan after From Justin to Kelly was barely seen in theaters by any of the millions who had loved these kids on TV, as well as being ripped apart by critics, having plans canceled for future American Idol musicals, and a soundtrack album being given a special Razzie Award as the worst musical of the ceremony's first 25 years, and now currently ranked in the top 20 of IMDb's bottom 100, just one slot above Ice Cube's War of the Worlds. Yet since I was as obsessed with American Idol at the time like the rest of the country, let us break out the choreography and modulate our voices to mock this cinema disaster that Kelly Clarkson has been so moving on from the past 20 years. And yes, JoBlo viewers, I would love to do a future review on that infamous Spice World movie, since I'm not ashamed to say it was a childhood favorite of mine. Especially since sitting through this piece of garbage is gonna make Spice World look about as good as both of the Wicked movies by comparison. Now it's time to ring in Thanksgiving and slice up some cinematic turkey with a cranberry-flavored round of the awfully good drinking game. Take a shot or drink as the soundtrack opens with Kelly performing a karaoke cover of a song by her future stepmother-in-law, Reba McEntire. And neither did most audiences to see this crap in theaters. She plays the similarly named Kelly Taylor, a college student working as a singer and waitress at a Texas dive bar, who's visited one night by her classmates Kaya, played by future Disney princess Anika Noni Rose, and Alexa, a rich girl played by One Tree Hill's Catherine Bayless, whose flight to spring break in Miami has been canceled and need Kelly to drive alongside them there, partially because she's being stalked at this bar by this creepy cowboy named Luke, who has serious new member of the Leatherface family vibes.
Come with us to Miami. Okay.
So it's off to vacation over our wacky opening credits, while the soundtrack has Kelly covering the overused Go-Go song Vacation, as our girls arrive in the state of Florida, back when it wasn't known as the home of meth-addicted alligators, but rather the headquarters for spring break. Yeah! And no one is more ready to party than this trio of college students from Pennsylvania, who deem themselves
the Pennsylvania Posse,
as led by future Jeopardy answer Justin Guarini as the similarly named Justin Bell, who pays off his student loans on spring break with his side hustle of a party promotion business, alongside fellow posse members Brandon, a douchey horny asshole played by erstwhile visual artist Gregory Siff, who's dead set on arranging a PG-friendly bikini contest of the whipped cream variety.
a whipped cream bikini contest.
Whipped cream bikini contest.
Whipped cream bikinis, ladies.
And Eddie, a computer geek played by future NCIS actor Brian Dietzen, who has plans of his own to meet IRL with an unseen girl he met in an internet chat room for Xena, Warrior Princess.
We met on the internet in the Xena chat room. Do you think they have high-speed internet access? This thing doesn't even have buttons. How am I gonna log on?
Oh, you silly nerd. The internet will never become widespread enough to help arrange romantic rendezvous between complete strangers. Go back to ranting about Castlevania 2 on YouTube where you belong, pal. So where should our Texan gals and this Pennsylvania posse cross paths but at a beachside hip-hop concert, providing the beat for the film's first original song, a number that feels like Cisco's less successful follow-up to the Thong Song.
Did that girl just look my way? Look like she just wants to play.
Oh wait, I realized I'm gay. Let this set the tone for the rest of our lackluster production numbers. From the half-hearted choreography that involves our beachgoers juggling beach balls, to the inexplicable inclusion of skateboarding footage, and certain actors in this cast being way less good at singing than either Justin or Kelly.
There's no doubt.
How could this happen to me?
And trust me, Brandon here is even worse at dropping some dope that rhymes afterwards, to provide the most painfully Caucasian moment in movie musicals since Cool as Ice.
Just follow me and Justin, and soon they'll be lusting for you. Multiple chicks will be landing. Just listen to Brandon, and soon they'll be standing with you. And then savor this flavor of freedom. We gotta date them and leave them. So follow my plan and make all the girls whistle.
Oh, nothing says a PG-rated family musical like a horny guy flashing his butthole to girls on the beach. Or as they call that in the state of Florida, just another day in paradise. But while this leads to a painfully unfunny subplot of a female beach cop who keeps ticketing Brandon for his beachside antics while he keeps hitting on her, the barely more dramatic affair between Justin and Kelly continues with another song between the two, as they search for one another at a breakdancing/tap dancing concert.
Hey, we met at the beach, right?
Yeah, my friends call me Kelly for short.
Ah yes, it must be short for Calicious Foxenopoulos III, my dear boy. She then gives this curly-haired cutie her cell number on a piece of toilet paper that quickly ends up muddled by a puddle. So he instead gets Kelly's number from her Paris Hilton lookalike pal, little knowing that she gives Justin her number instead, so Alexa can pose as Kelly with some standoffish and barely legible text messages. In other words, the early 2000s equivalent of catfishing.
What?
As for their friend Kaya, she gets a romantic subplot of her own with a hunky Mexican dishwasher named Carlos, who sweeps her off her feet at a nearby salsa club for a decent musical number that feels like Randy Newman's projected new song for Disney's inevitable live-action remake of The Princess and the Frog. Then we find Kelly's pals revealing to her that they have entered her in that whipped cream bikini contest, despite it being against her proclaimed feminist values.
It's humiliating and degrading and fattening.
I guess we're just gonna forget when she earlier sang a song about wanting these guys to run a bang train on her. So Justin makes it up to the poor girl by accidentally pouring hot sauce into her vagina, then inviting her on a romantic boat ride.
There's definitely something going on between us. You know what I mean?
Do we know what you mean? Because this first big song you've got with each other to proclaim your love has you two looking off into the distance instead of at each other, like they're recording the same Diane Warren love theme for two different Jerry Bruckheimer movies. I think Kelly would have had more sexual chemistry acting alongside William Hung.
Talk to me, tell me your sign. You're switching sides.
So do you bring all your girls out here?
Now, I don't want to be too mean to either of these two. Neither of them were professional actors by their own admission, and were both forced into this bullshit by Simon Fuller's ironclad contract for American Idol's winning contestants. But despite having dated briefly in real life, their lack of chemistry is so bad that the rest of this movie has to lean in hard onto its far more annoying supporting characters, such as Eddie the Nerd preparing for his big date by getting a tan that wackily turns into a bad case of sunburn, after which he gets punched out at his hotel room by some dude who looks like early 80s Tom Cruise on steroids, who mistakes him for sleeping with his girlfriend and now may or may not be newly gay for Eddie.
You want to have a drink and talk some more?
You know this won't go any further than friendship, right?
Or Kaya accidentally losing the job of her new boyfriend after she talks back to his boss, which makes Carlos unable to accept her apology despite the fact that he was easily able to find another busboy job afterwards, and that he's visibly too old to be a busboy anyway. You're a bus man by now, sir.
You go home back to your friends and tell them about the guy you picked up, but some of us are home. And guess what? We want more out of life too. We need our jobs.
I never learned to read.
Or Alexa the rich bitch getting a song about her villainous motivations titled Wish Upon a Star.
Makes no difference.
No, not when you wish upon a star, even if Disney now owns the rights to this movie. And this could be very well one of the worst songs that I have ever heard composed in any movie musical, if only because of how they set the synthesizer on some distorted carnival music setting that makes it sound like a musical collaboration between John Carpenter and Sabrina Carpenter, after they both got shit-faced at the bar together. Oh no, please, keep the song going for another verse so that Brandon can stop by and drop a guest rap. So the next phase of Alexa's evil plan is telling Justin about Kelly's ex-boyfriend, who's gonna show up at Brandon's next big pool party, where Kelly and Kaya show up slutting it up for their men like Olivia Newton-John did in Grease, by dressing like they're attending a Sublime concert and singing Madness.
One step
No, not the British ska band, it's the name of the song, which also rips from yet another John Travolta musical.
Honey, I can tell by the wondering look in your eye. You can tell by the way I use my voice.
And that's when Kelly's ex-boyfriend shows up in the form of her cowboy stalker Luke, having driven all the way from Texas to Florida after being called up by Alexa.
Back off, Sideshow Bob, what you call me?
Gentlemen, please, let us solve this like proper dude bros, and battle each other in a beachside duel of hovercrafts, where whoever throws the most beanbags into the other hovercraft's basket wins the game, also known as Extreme Mr. Bucket!
I'm Mr. Bucket. Toss your balls in my top. I'm Mr. Bucket. Out of my mouth I will pop. I'm Mr. Bucket.
But since this movie has all the dramatic tension of a special Saved by the Bell episode, Luke just escapes with some stitches from the boat crash and tells Kelly about Alexa calling him up, right before Kelly then witnesses Alexa smooching up on Justin at the bar against his will, even though we can see in this long shot that he was the one who totally initiated the first move. And Kelly just implicitly trusts Alexa's lies about Justin smooching up on her, because I guess this is now as much of a shitty CW drama as it was already a shitty musical.
Alexa told me everything. You came on to her.
I didn't come on to her, she came on to me.
You're the one playing games with me, Kelly. Game over.
And with Kaya and Carlos having kissed and made up with a fancy dinner together over a sheet of glass covering a hotel pool that sure feels like a Final Destination death waiting to happen, they hit the club with Alexa and Kelly, where Kel finds out about all the nasty text messages on her cell phone that Alexa has been sending Justin under her name, which he had somehow never brought up once in their real-life meetings together.
How could you do this to me?
Kai had a guy, and you had Justin. I just felt like Miss Runner-Up.
I'm going to kill you.
I did not mean to hurt you, I promise.
Like hell you didn't mean to hurt her. You stole the woman's identity to try and snatch her man's dick. This is not what I would expect from the villain in a PG family musical about everyone's favorite interracial duo from American Idol, Randy Jackson and Paula Abdul. So Kelly sings another forgettable ballad to assuage her grief, and who should pop up behind her but
Justin,
who's been stopped from his flight back home thanks to a last-minute save from Alexa, who needed some way to redeem her character with only 8 minutes of the movie left.
The two belong together.
And with our two lovebirds reunited once again in song, we can mercifully wrap up with one final dance party before the two go back their separate ways.
Go out with a bang and not a whimper. Word up.
Where we find out Eddie has finally found the sexy lady at the other end of the Xena chat room. Kaya has agreed to let her new boyfriend have himself a free ride on Tiana's Bayou adventure. And Brandon is approached by the bikini-wearing Officer Cutler, who reveals he's under arrest as part of her undercover sting to take down his extensive sex trafficking ring. So how about we rip off from Grease one last time and have all our happy lovers play us out with one last song, namely yet another cover tune.
That's the way, I like it. Casey and the Sunshine Band.
Yeah, and that's the way I hate it, because anyone in the late 70s who complained about how much disco music sucked should have taken a time machine to 2003 to see how much worse things were gonna get. At least disco had better dancing than this, and it had a merciful lack of white boy rapping.
Everybody just clap your hands. What you gonna do? Whoa. Get out of here, come on.
Oh, I will gladly get out of here, White Urkel, because this movie has ruined the art form of movie musicals the same way American Idol cheapened the art of popular music. If Gene Kelly had lived to see this garbage, he would not be singing in the rain. He would be swinging from a rope.
how could you do this?
Released in theaters a year after American Idol's debut episode, From Justin to Kelly would then hit DVD that same summer with an extended movie version that featured 9 minutes of deleted footage with 2 new songs that didn't add much of anything, and marked the final major theatrical movie from both screenwriter Kim Fuller, the brother of Simon Fuller, who had written Spice World, and director Robert Iscove, who had previously made the way better Disney TV movie of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella and She's All That. But thankfully, Kelly Clarkson was able to drop the first hit single off of her debut album right before this flick bombed, after which came many more hit pop songs, a return to acting and doing voice work for the Ugly Dolls movie and Trainees Great Tour, and an Emmy Award for hosting her still-running TV talk show, while still humorously disparaging her cinematic debut the same way that George Clooney makes fun of Batman and Robin.
While I was shooting this movie, I absolutely hate. And anyway, but...
As for Justin Guarini, he's found success himself as a Broadway theater actor, such as playing Fiyero in Wicked, as well as being hired by Diet Dr. Pepper as their soulful miniature spokesperson, Lil Sweet.
It's the sweet one.
And good for the both of them, because their generically flat performances are far from the worst thing about From Justin to Kelly. From the flat musical numbers that sometimes just fade to black without a proper ending, to the complete lack of dramatic tension between these bland supporting characters. The best thing that can be said in its favor is that it's a perfect encapsulation of how dumb and hollow pop culture could be, even in the supposedly better days of our youth.
You're right.
While the infamously bad movie that Simon Fuller produced for the Spice Girls at least had some genuinely clever jokes, a cast full of fun celebrity cameos, and a soundtrack full of top 10 hits, From Justin to Kelly is one of those infamously bad movies that more than lives up to its poor reputation. And besides, we all know that the real romance to bloom over the past 23 seasons of American Idol is the one between Simon Cowell and his plastic surgeon.
Hideous.
On the Andromedus continuum scale from Bull to Bruce, from Justin to Kelly will make you thankful that Simon Fuller did not move on to greenlighting the Jennifer Hudson and Adam Lambert mysteries, and lowers its pitch to a low note of 3 out of 10. Some people feel like they're waiting a lifetime while watching a movie like this. Until next time, this is Jesse Shade on behalf of Awfully Good Movies, and we dedicate this episode to the other member of this movie's cast who had tried and failed to become an American Idol herself.
Who am I supposed to be? A girl who stays at home alone. No, baby needs a
This is not okay. Our country has failed us.
Now to impress these chicks, you gotta be smoother than ever. No need to sweat, I'm your mentor, I'm clever. The ones at the bar and the ones at the pool. The triplets Cammy, Sammy, and Tammy from my old high school. But it's cool, cause I rule multiple chicks you'll be landing. Just listen to Brandon.
You okay?
Yeah. No.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. JoBlo was created by movie fans for movie fans, and we appreciate your support.